Quentin just sent in a report on the Jackson Parker investigation, Captain.
Were we right in believing that he was making parts for Kittridge's submarine engine?
Yes, sir. He developed an electronic device for detecting objects under the water, but the mysterious Mr. M got it away from him.
Another lead gone, eh?
Not quite, sir. Parker is blind and thought at first M's men were from the police, but he later became suspicious and set a trap for them.
What sort of a trap?
He put the electronic device in a small box that is a direction finder attached to a receiver in his workshop.
And Shirley is directing Grant and Kirby by shortwave to where M's men are going.
Right, sir.
They turned off Garfield onto the High Tower Road.
So will we.
Where are you now, Kirby?
On the High Tower Road.
We're off the High Tower Road at 2:59. Is anyone following us?
Can't see anyone.
The other cars changed direction.
Going west on Bolton Highway.
Long ways ahead of us, Crank. You better step on it. What did that? Your guess is as good as mine. Step on it. You can't turn back now.
Now, what do we do with this direction finder?
Break it up and throw it out.
Come on, Kirby. Snap out of it. What hit us? We just missed getting 150,000 volts.
Calling Kirby Walsh. Come in, please. Urgent.
Hello, Shirley. This is Grant.
Grant, the direction finder stopped operating.
Yeah, so have we.
What do you mean?
The high-tension wires and towers fell out here. Notify the power company to send a repair crew.
Are you both all right?
Yes, we're all right. Well, the direction finder's all washed up. You get a car and go to Waldron's. There's a possibility Mr. M may have gotten his lead to Parker there. I'm going to headquarters. Okay.
In an effort to locate manufacturers making parts for Kittridge's submarine engine, pictures of the doctor have been sent to all companies within a radius of 100 miles.
Well, that may get results. If any of them have been doing work for him, they'll certainly report it.
I hope so. Between the newspapers and civic pressure on one side, and the commissioner and the DA on the other, I'm about ready to... I gave orders not to be disturbed. Oh, hello, Shirley. Come on in.
Was Parker able to give you any more information about Kittridge?
Well, the electronic ear is the only thing he's been working on, Grant, and they can't duplicate it without the plans M's men took.
This is really amazing, Anthony. With this electronic ear, Dr. Kittridge has solved the problem of underwater radar.
Hardly seems possible that anything this small could do that.
The main feature of this invention is that its size is not important to its operation as a microwave receiver.
The plans show this model is made 50 times larger than designed.
Reduced to its original size, it would be extremely small, Terry.
Tiny enough to be inserted into the human ear by means of a very simple operation.
Tell me, could we send out a microwave beam that it could pick up?
Certainly. And anyone with Hypnotreme in this system could be commanded at will, no matter where he was, without anyone else hearing the voice.
Such a person could be very useful to us.
Yes.
We can do it.
As soon as we can get our hands on Walter Farrell.
Now, Mrs. Waldron, please try and remember whether you told anybody at all that you were co-beneficiary with Mr. Parker on that insurance policy.
Well, naturally, it was a topic of conversation here in the house.
I was so happy Dr. Kittridge was thinking of me, even when he was doing great things.
Dr. Kittridge never told Grandma what inventions he was working on. Whenever he needed money, he just asked for it and got it.
He never talked about his affairs.
Nobody knows that better than I. But since his death, his secrets haven't been so well kept.
I don't quite understand what you mean, Lieutenant.
Shortly after you learned about Mr. Parker, M's men located him and stole one of Dr. Kittredge's most valuable inventions.
Grandma, I think the police should be told about Crandall.
Crandall seemed like such a deserving young man.
Who is this Crandall? What should the police know?
I shouldn't like to wrong him, Marina.
Well, if we're wrong, he can easily clear himself.
Perhaps.
Crandall was our chauffeur.
Was?
He left without saying a word.
When?
We don't know exactly.
Was he around when you talked about Kittredge and Parker?
He's bringing in some packages from the car. It's very possible he overheard our conversation.
Even so, I can't see why he left without collecting his salary.
Don't concern yourself about his salary, Mrs. Waldron. I'm sure the mysterious Mr. M paid him more than you ever would.
Mercy me.
What is Crandall's full name?
Frederick Crandall.
His home address?
I don't believe I ever knew it. Did you, Grandma?
Why, his references were so splendid, I didn't ask.
I can get it from the motor vehicle department. I'm sorry I had to bother you.
But you didn't. Show Mr. Walsh to the door, my dear.
Waldron's gave me a lead on a chauffeur named Crandall who quit them in a hurry. I've checked with the Department of Motor Vehicles and he isn't registered.
Phony name, eh? Not a bad lead. What are you going to do about it?
I'm going back to Waldron's and see if I can pick up anything on Crandall.
This one came by special messenger.
By following my instructions, you obtained the Kittridge electronic ear. Kirby Walsh is about to visit you again alone. Use Hypnotreme on him. Have Walsh remove Grant Farrell. Disobey, and I'll tell the police what I know. Your make-believe Mr. M is now real and mysterious, because I am he.
There's our greatest danger, not Kirby Walsh.
Just because someone moves in on a scheme that we were clever enough to set up, doesn't mean he's going to get away with it.
So far, he has, Anthony. And what he knows about us doesn't help any.
I'll say it hasn't. He knows that Anthony Waldron is not dead as the police believe. That we're keeping Grandma our virtual prisoner, and that we're after the Kittridge submarine engine.
Our only chance is to stick together. Get him at the showdown before he gets us. Play it again. I want to listen to that voice. This is the first time Mr. M hasn't whispered.
I'm going down below.
Play it again.
By following my instructions, you obtained the Kittridge electronic ear. Kirby Walsh is about to visit you again alone. Use Hypnotreme on him. Have Walsh remove Grant Farrell. Disobey, and I'll tell the police what I know. Your make-believe Mr. M is now real and mysterious, because I am he.
Satisfied, or do you want to hear it again?
No, it's no use. I thought I might recognize the voice, but I can't.
Too bad we sent Kirby Walsh on a wild goose chase.
When he finds out there isn't any Frederick Crandall, he'll probably be back. We'll be ready for it.
Where's the man you were talking to?
Are you crazy?
Yeah, like a fox. We don't want any visitors for a while. Open that door.
You must have been dreaming.
Dreaming or not, the conversation was real interesting. Is that another closet?
No, that's Grandma Waldron's bedroom. She's lying down.
See if it's okay for me to look in.
Well, are you convinced now that you made a mistake?
I heard the voice of the mysterious Mr. M. Where's the record it was on?
Over there's the phonograph.
I know, but the record isn't. I saw that as soon as I came into the room.
Then it's merely your word against mine that it was ever there.
Maybe. Does Grandma Waldron know what's going on in her house?
Why don't you wake her up and ask her?
That'll come later. Right now, I'm going to find out how you get in and out of this room without using the doors. To make sure you don't get into mischief. Put out your hands.
It's too bad Kittridge was so secretive.
Well, we can't blame him for using precautions with an invention that permits submarines to be built as large as ocean liners and travel 30 knots an hour underwater.
I suppose you're right.
If I was superstitious, I would say the mysterious Mr. M has a sixth sense.
It certainly thinks so, the way he gets the jump on us. The moment we get a lead to any of the engine parts.
Which leads me to believe that he's dependent upon our information.
Then where's the leak?
I wish I knew.
Nobody but Weatherby, the lawyer, the Waldrons, the police, and ourselves had an inkling that Parker was associated with Kittridge.
Personally, as far as I'm concerned, there's not a suspect among them.
No, Marina's signaling. Go on up and see what she wants.
You still think there's a secret door?
Yes, and I'll continue to look for it.
Don't bother, Lieutenant Walsh. Drop that gun. Drop it! How'd you get in here, Marina?
Somebody left the front door open and I walked in.
What a setup you got here, Derek. You're going to see a lot more of it.
Take him downstairs. You take care of Walsh's car. Get the Hypnotreme.
Too bad he can only be conditioned for one job at a time. When he recovers, we'll have him phone Farrell at police headquarters.
Transmetals Incorporated never saw Kittridge.
Tubular Steel Company. No work for Kittridge.
This method of trying to find out who is working on Kittridge's submarine engine is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Just a part of police routine, Jelly. Hello.
Kirby Walsh is calling Grant Farrell on extension 2.
Okay.
Hello, Kirby.
I checked Crandall's room. He didn't leave much, but I did find 2 leads.
Oh, that's great. What are they?
Envelopes and 2 old letters. 2 different addresses. You take one, I'll take the other.
Okay, what is it?
The Harbor Cafe and a rooming house on Elm Street. You're nearest the cafe.
I'll leave right away.
That's just a sample of how useful Walsh is going to become to us.
I'll phone Doninger and Schrack and tell them that Farrell is on his way.
That's Farrell. He's getting out of his car.
Get him as he crosses the sidewalk.
I missed him. He's coming after us.
I'll shake him.
Now he's closing in on us. Open the glove compartment. There's something in there that'll stop him. As soon as I make this next turn, toss a couple of them out on the street.